Hey, kitty girls, it's Sunday, March, what is it, 16th? Yeah, 16th, in 2025. And welcome to Comes Out Loud Drag Race T-Time. My name is Gary, and with me is my ever fabulous co-host.
Hello, everyone. It's Damon. Welcome to the weirdness. There I go. I couldn't see myself because I was frozen for a second. I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
Anyway,
tech issues
hi.
abound. Yes. So, yeah, we're going to talk about episodes 10 and 11, The Villains Roast and Ross Matthews versus the Ducks. Two very interesting episodes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Agreed.
not quite what I was expecting, and yet kind of in line with things that have been done in the past. So,
True that.
there's very much that. So, why don't we jump into our first section and discuss what happened in these episodes?
Absolutely.
Racers, start your engines, and may the best drag queen win.
Yep, girl, I'm telling you. I wonder if she had shoulder surgery or something.
You know what? Like, I feel something. She had to have because I've been again. So Gary has been on this for a while. Damon is just now catching up. Let's put it like that. But I'm like now that it's been in my head, I watch it every fucking time now, and I'm just like, yeah, she doesn't. She barely lifts the shoulder. Like so. I'm wondering if there was an accident or something happened or there's a concern, a strain that has been there for a while,
maybe she
or
got bone spurs.
maybe she got bone spurs, or maybe she just old. Like I mean, she is old, but
I mean, she should talk to Sally Field, get some Boniva, They could do a whole skit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Boniva, I went to school with her. Anyways.
Anyway.
Yes. All right, so let's do this thing. So, put the pedal to the metal. We are going to basically talk about three particular grouping areas. We call them the serves, the swerves, and the nerves. So the serves are the positive things that came out of these particular episodes. The swerves are the items you probably should have avoided, the not so good things. And then the nerves, baby, it could be really good or it could be really damn bad. So that being the case, Damon, why don't you start us off with what do you got for serves?
So, first off, I'm going to talk about Jules's shorty runway. I thought it was very cute. I love the color. It was this green, like big, sleeve, like, and then it had like it was very like Michelle, I love you. Not Marie Antoinette. Not anywhere near Marie Antoinette. Like period. Like let's get that out of your head. I know you hate it. You made it very clear. This was not that. It was a very like I don't even want to say Elizabethan, but like, old timey, like, that era of stuff, but it was a short, outfit. And I thought it was very cute. I thought it was a fun take on the prompt. And again, loved the color, loved the choices, um, loved that it gave volume for something that could have potentially been a short,
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of was like, cool, kudos on her. So that was from episode 10. And episode 11, this is more just I thought it was hilarious, and that's why I'm giving it a swerve or a serve. They called the restaurant that they were all at, that Cheyenne Jackson, by the way, love him, was, restauranting, hosting, whatever.
Right.
They called it Le Pork Chop.
I didn't catch that. I saw what you wrote, and I was like, huh? Like, I know what you wrote. Like, I could read it. I understand it. And I was like, I don't understand where this is coming from. I didn't catch that. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I caught it, and it just tickled. It's, we know it's a thing. Pork chop has been a thing, and it's been a thing forever. Long live Victoria Pork Chop Parker. She will never be forgotten. And this is one of those moments that I was just like a cute little subtle like nod that I gagged myself over. I loved it. I thought it was cute. That's me. That's
Nice.
all.
Um,
Yeah.
so for me, I really liked in the Villains Roast in episode 10 the writer's room. Like, usually they kind of like workshop stuff in the workroom, and then Rue and the comedian guest host walk around and just kind of ask them to be like, give me your yucks, and like, and so
Or they do it on stage where they like come in one at a time and the two.
correct.
Yeah.
And so this was a whole different format. I call it the writer's room because they were sitting in this big, U shape of tables and like working collaboratively a little bit, like amongst each other. Like they had already prepped jokes ahead of time, and then Whitney was like responding, Michelle was responding. They were kind of bouncing off of each other. And I found that really interesting. I liked it because it was very different. It felt much more like a sitcom / SNL, like preparation style. And I hope that they continue it because it kind of, to me, was a little bit more cohesive in terms of like them being a group and working together. It also created the opportunity for the drama of the episode, which I don't know. Like, there's a lot of nerve going on.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that whole thing was kind of surprising to me, although it does feel a little stunty. So yeah, I
know it was a stunt because
well,
sure the fuck didn't help her.
I almost feel like they were both in on it. That's why I mean stunty.
Oh,
that it wasn't as drama as it was being portrayed to be, but that's just a theory of mine.
Interesting.
So
you're gonna make me think, Mr. Gary. You're making me think.
All right. And then for episode 11, I want to give a serve to the black and white runway theme. As simplistic as it is, aesthetically, it was really nice to see more cohesion to the theme.
Right.
And the reason I say it like that is more often than not, it feels like they're very obtuse, evasive, vague, whatever you want to call it when they give the list to the queens that are going to be on the season to make outfits. Right. And this one, it seems like whatever the prompt one was pretty straightforward. And so when they announced it and then you see them, you're like, oh yeah, it all is cohesive. Like it all absolutely makes sense. And for the most part, they were really good presentations.
Yeah.
Now that goes without saying. We're reaching the second half of the season now, and so we're getting towards the end. So I would kind of expect them to be delivering on the looks, because if you've made it this far, I'm gonna say generally in your package you are talented on several fronts, and your fashion, like your presentation of your looks, is aesthetically also a piece of that.
That's true.
So. Yeah, I mean, like, there was only one miss amongst the 7 of them for me. Yeah, and...
Oh, I see it. Wait. Yes, I see it. Never mind. Maybe.
No, actually, it's funny, because we'll get to that in a moment. The one that was the biggest miss for me was Lexi.
Oh. No, that makes sense.
I hate to say it, but I'm like, girl, I am overseeing the
billowy fabric draping behind her.
Well, that and like, showing off the body, yada, and the legs and the and it just. I've seen it. I've seen it for 11 episodes.
Short skirt, nothing, nothing else. Just yeah.
So it's like I would have been far more impressed if you came out in like a burqa. So, but enough about Susie too. So, I mean, I'm just saying. But, yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't that impressive.
I mean, that's fair.
There is a part of me, though, that's like, I will have to give her recognition because she probably steamed it for quite a while. Because it doesn't take up much space to pack.
Yeah.
Just, big strands of fabric, that are ombre, but then you have to take all the, creases and all the rest of that jazz out of it. So she spent a little time like making it look good, but still. Anyways.
Steaming the shit. Like, her room is just foggy. Just...
Probably for more than one
Why
reason.
is it raining?
Yeah, really. So that being the case, why don't we move on to swerves?
Speaking of Lexi,
yes.
episode 10, Inner Saboteur. I have issues with Arietti, and we will talk about her later. But in this particular instance, I have to give the swerve swing and miss to Miss Lexi in regards to her Inner Saboteur basically making something out of nothing.
Right.
You got what you asked for in the roast. You specifically asked to go last. You specifically asked for that. So you got what you wanted. Susie, I don't think did, but that's neither here nor there. So Susie just happened to be before you. You let that get in your head so much that it fucked you over. Because the jokes that you had around the writer's room were pretty fucking good. And you were getting some really good praise. And they were really enjoying what you were doing. And then you got up there and you fucked up. But it wasn't because Susie did better than you.
Right.
It was because you had this voice in your head that apparently you've had for like the past 9 episodes that Susie is better than you. And I know you're not going to see this, but I want you to know y'all are all great. Y'all wouldn't be on this show if you weren't all great. Some of you have some things that you're quote unquote better at than others, but don't let that be the thing that gets you down. And Whitney, praise her, was kind of like right on saying like that needs to stop now. Don't let that voice keep you from getting your dream. Because it seems pretty obvious to me that this is what you want. You want to win. You want to be the best. And that's what you were looking for when you wanted to go last. You wanted to end the show on the high note. You wanted to be the one that they all saw. And I get it. You got in here, and that's what fucked you over.
Right.
So, swerve.
Yeah. No, I concur.
Yeah. And then episode 11, I put down Lydia's fabric obsession. So, don't get me wrong. I liked her outfit. I thought it was very cute. But it has become a theme of hers where it's like a lot of stuff, a lot of extra fabric, a lot of multiple fabrics, a lot of like furry fabrics and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, this is a lot. And it's becoming, as we saw, a hindrance in a way. You could barely walk in that. And I get that maybe that's what you're going for, but maybe you shouldn't have, considering it's a runway. Just saying. And then you had these big ass like hand things, and you were talking about Mars attacks, which it obscure reference in a way. I didn't get it because I haven't. Don't get me wrong, I haven't seen the movie, or if I have, it's been like years.
Right.
And it just felt weird, and it feels like you think a lot. You think a lot about your looks, and I feel that is another hindrance of you is the things, and that's the problem. That's a big problem. Yeah. So that's my story for her. Like this, either tone down the fabrics or find something a little bit more modern. I get that you're kooky, and I get it, and it's really great. You have a name called Lydia Butthole Collins. I get it. Like you're very it's very wild. But as I saw that episode 11, it became a hindrance more than a support for you.
I agree. I mean, she definitely is giving younger drag, has yet to hone her aesthetic and learn to edit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there was a significant change that she made within the last episode. Hang on, I want to see if there should be discussed now or later. I'll discuss it now.
Okay.
If you saw the not the Untucked, if you saw the lip sync in episode 11,
Mm-hmm.
she made a very serious decision
Mm-hmm.
that ultimately I think was what sent her home.
Yep.
What I find interesting is if you watched the pit stop, I think her name went out of my head. Wow.
Angeria.
Yes. I want to say Angelique. I don't know why. Angeria had said she would have done it before you walked back on the runway.
Right.
For the lip sync, like, thinking that you might be going home. And if the judges ask you what happened, to be like, oh, well, the van, like, just like make up some excuse.
Yeah.
Because after she did that, I thought it looked better.
Like kind of like cut open, giving it a little bit more.
Well,
Yeah.
because it was from the knees down, so it made like a sort of a train, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it made the outfit better. And obviously more functional for her. So, like, to me, I found that very intriguing that it's a shame you didn't think of that earlier. Like, you didn't think of that in the workroom when you were putting it on originally before you went out there, so you could have, like, tried to quickly do something with it. You know what I mean? And then that never kind of would have been the thing. But anyways. So, yeah. So, I mean, I think she definitely has All Stars potential, spoiler, and that she will hopefully have improved in ways that we see that pay off.
I would love to see her in like 2 or 3 years, with some growth, some evolution, as it were.
Right.
And maybe weirdly enough, it'd be fun to hear if her and Corey are still together.
True. Very true.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Gary.
For swerves. So episode 10, yeah, Arietta's stunt. Man, like there's a weird thing that's come out of these past 2 episodes. And I just don't know how I feel about this, because there's a part of me that's like, is this all intentional? Like, are you trying desperately to be the villain? Because that's the role you suddenly came into.
Right.
Like yeah, you were a little shady and little mouthy, but outright stealing Jules' jokes right before her going on. Like, there's a part of me that's like, oh, this is just like a bit. Like, she's not really going to do it. And then she does it, and Jules is like, this bitch stole my jokes. And I'm like, she says it in confessional, and I'm like, okay. But then Jules, like, doesn't do what I was hoping for, which was rise above it and come up with new jokes on the fly and, like, slam it home. She also falters, which is where I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like, so that's where I felt like things were questionable. A part of me honestly wonders whether or not they were both in on it. And then, well, I know we'll get to this later. she doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down when she exited.
Oh, bitch. Yeah. I know we're
And
getting to that. I'll get to that. But
I know. And I was shocked. And I thought, okay, are you trying to cement your future?
Yep.
But maybe, you didn't strike me this entire season as someone who wanted to be a villain, quote unquote.
Right.
But that's how you exited, so
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, it felt very. She's been saying stuff all season, off and on, like little comments here and there.
mm,
She's. Oh God, I was literally pulling her up. Where you at? Okay, she was 27 at the time of recording. So she's not a young, like fresh out of school kind of like mouthy bitch. Like I'll put it like that.
right,
She's not like the teen, like young teen, young one that hasn't got out of the teenage bullshit. She should be old enough. She is old enough to like have grown past that and maybe started getting a little better at it. Um, but she's said some pretty cunty things off and on. Um, either whether it's in confessional, um, or in are to queens themselves. Like her mouth
right,
in
right,
Untucked was very, very well known. And I get it when you're upset, and I get that you're mad, and I get that you want to do this, and I know you want to win, but sometimes you have to sometimes shut the fuck up. Like just sometimes you just need to, because it's not about. I'll put it like this. You made it clear that this was not your thing from the moment it was announced that this was a challenge, the roast.
right,
You made it perfectly clear from there. So you made yourself fail. You knew you were going to fail.
right.
And you did nothing to make that better. You literally did some underhanded bullshit to like get back at somebody else, as opposed to actually maybe rising above it and figuring out a way to make it work.
Right.
You instead chose to be a villain, steal something that did not belong to you, whether intentional or not. You still stole something that belonged to someone else,
Right.
And then, even with that, still fucking failed. So what was the point? What sounds like the point was to get back at your friend.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
Instead
my
of
take,
maybe trying to win.
yeah, my takeaway on it is she has a lot of therapy coming
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of like stuff going on there.
Maybe.
There's a lot of work to be done on the personal level, because I think their behaviors speak a lot to their discomfort.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
yeah.
Never mind. I have words. I'm just gonna say. I'll say them later. I'll say them for later.
Okay.
Gary.
And then episode
Ooh.
11, I've got a swerve for Anya's runway. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. And this is the problem. Like when you serve really good stuff, I get it. Not everything's going to be at the same caliber. And that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the point that I think maybe Angeria said in the pit stop, there was a reference that like it seemed like Anya didn't actually have an outfit. And this was the closest thing she had.
Right.
And I kind of agree with that. I don't like agreeing with it. She's very much definitely talented. I think she's a top contender. I do really like her. But I was like,
This was a misstep.
Yeah.
But it's not her first misstep when it comes to runway. And I'll just own that. I'm just going to say that. That's some tea. I don't care. but the prompts that we've had in Drag Race history, this one was a low hanging fruit one in a way,
Right.
depending on what they got, mind you. I'm just putting it out there. But like if they asked for like avant garde or whatever kind of thing, couture, maybe it said black and white couture because I noticed that was sort of a thing throughout. There were very differentiation. You know what I was saying. um, and it just felt like maybe he was trying for something, and it didn't quite land, and that's what I feel was the place here. Like the thing that didn't land for me is that it wasn't black and white. It was black and gray.
Right.
And so like, it wasn't black and white like
Well,
that.
It's funny because I was just thinking, like, how could it have been improved? And I'm like, and this is going to sound wild, and she probably would have gotten red for it, honestly, if she had white opera gloves and white pumps.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the thing to me, is like there really wasn't white.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like it met the prompt.
Yeah.
As it was stated. And I realize that sounds like I'm reversing what I said earlier about how I really liked the theme. And this is the part where, so functionally, I like Anya's runway presentation better than Lexi's.
Right.
However, Lexi's meets the prompt more than Anya's does. So
no, it's true. That's I get what you're saying. I get it. Is you can clearly see the black and white in Lexi's outfit. You cannot see it in Anya's.
Right.
And the dress was too short. The dress was too short.
Yeah.
I mean, both of the dresses were technically too short, in my opinion, for different reasons. But
right. I just realized what would have been awesome about Anya's is if it was down onto the floor, and if she had somehow been able to attach a white feather train.
Yeah.
Like, that probably would have sold it more for me. But
like if you weirdly enough, if you had like a white feathered like bolero or a coat or something just to like give like some of that drama, maybe to add to the feathers of the swan,
right,
that would have been fun to have had. It might have it would have helped. I think it would have helped elevate the look. It would have made it a little bit better and more in tune with the theme.
Yeah.
But we got what we got. It was a miss. It was a miss.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, moving on to Nerve. Damon, what are you giving Nerve for? Sorry, it made me laugh.
I'm gonna bring back the tank from episode 10. I'm giving Nerve this because these bitches made a mini challenge that was basically Michelle's revenge, and there was no mini challenge to it. Like, let's just call it what it is. That's what it was. There was no game or strategy or answering or anything. This was literally each queen got up there, each queen got dunked. Like, that was the whole point. That was all it was. Mm-hmm. Michelle was just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. Like, just,
thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a fun thing. Weird time to do it, but it was a thing. That's
so that episode was weird. It almost felt like maybe Rue was sick, because she conspicuously was missing for half the episode. So I was like, was there a scheduling conflict, or was she not feeling well? Because suddenly it was Michelle like doing everything. Now I will say I agree, it was amusing. It was super obvious that it was Michelle's revenge. Because the first couple queens that get up there, she asks them a question and they answer it. And they did pretty good with the edit, because honestly, for the first couple, I felt like like it was legitimate. Like, you know, they tried to answer the question, they got it wrong. And I don't know if it was Lexi. Somebody actually answered the question I thought correctly, and that's what I was like, oh no. Like, because Michelle would not take anybody's answer. Like, and that's when I saw the turn, and I was like, oh yeah, they're all getting dunked. Like, there's no way to not get dunked.
No.
I also found it interesting that Joey was on. So, like, he's been interviewing the queens for the past couple of seasons, like season release, and some other stuff. So I found it interesting that the mystery, the reveal, is that he already met the queens before he met the queens. Like, and that wasn't understood or known. Like, I don't think it was given away, not that I know of or I don't recall. Like, it didn't seem like he was familiar with them. So I don't know. I found that interesting. But
nice. It was a cute moment. I'm giving it nerve because, like, yeah, that was a good on y'all. Good on y'all.
Well, they also had to like get their investment on the dunk tank. So
I mean, also that they probably did too. But I do think it's funny that no one won anything, and it just was pointless. It was literally just revenge for Michelle Visage. Anyway, moving on to episode 11. Anya's fupa. Just that I loved this. She had a lot of nerve coming in here and killing everybody. Like, just murdered all of them. Just with, like, the holding the thing and with the and the nails.
I peed. I was not ready for the sight gag of the nails on the titty plate, like the bib plate. I was just like, oh my. But it got better.
Yes.
In the actual, like, when they show the actual, like, edit.
Yeah.
When, I don't know if it's when she's holding the breastplate or the butt pads.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, the back and forth looks between her and Lana, girl, I fell out. That was some funny shit where they were just like looking very pointedly at each other, over dramatically, and it went on too long. That was the part that was so funny. It was like, it was like doink 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 doink, like it just kept going, and I was like, oh my god. I was like,
yes, I thought it was amazing, and kudos to Anya for, like, again, like I said, just leaving no crumbs, just taking it everything. How dare you make me laugh so damn much? How dare you bring sight gags and star quality to an acting challenge of this caliber? How dare you? Just love you. Anyway.
Super queen. She's a super queen.
Just saying.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Gary, how about you?
Okay, so Mother's Runway in episode 10.
Mm-hmm. I've got to scroll down. Come on. Give it to me. Am I remembering this one? Oh, that. Yeah.
Please describe.
The bejeweled fishnet.
Uh-huh.
Did you stone those tights?
Did you decide to be a slutty hoe?
Right?
I was like, what is this? I was not ready for that. Like I was like, what happened to her?
Yeah.
Because like, did you get the feedback? Like, did you get challenged? Did someone place a bet on your ass? Like, what has happened in these last couple of episodes? Because suddenly we're pulling out stunt, like, you know, runway looks that we have not seen in ever. Like,
yeah,
it was very, very intriguing to me. So I was like, ooh, that do take nerve, girl. Like, that's...
Yes.
That was surprising.
Yeah, that's very. It's a very unique. I mean, I won't say call it unique. Let me rephrase. I'm not used to seeing this much of RuPaul's skin.
That part.
Um, and I mean, yes, she's worn some shorter things here and there, but this is just a very different take on it.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of living for it. I kind of love it.
I mean, there was a part of me that was like, did Fredericks of Hollywood call you? Like what is going on here? Like it was such a wild throwback, like slutty thing. Like it was like it reminded me of like when you would get the catalog.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And like you would order
Yeah.
stuff. I mean,
This feels like, again, for those who can't see the picture, it is very much a like you're talking about Frederick Hollywood, like hustler, like woman like body stocking like moment where the hoo-ha part is cut out and you can just like and you can see everything and with just little tasteful moments of like decolletage like here and there. I mean, granted, she does have a I'm assuming like a leotard underneath it, but is a leotard see through? No. Okay, no. Okay.
we just haven't
Obviously,
we just haven't seen this look before.
yeah, it's very it's
Yeah.
okay, I get what you mean.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
All right. And then episode 11, child.
That was a choice.
So we know this question is coming. Honestly, I forgot about the
Sure.
question until Mother asked it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. This
Here
happens."
we go. Yeah.
But it didn't have the gravitas of the dun dun dun. You know what I mean? Like it just it didn't hit that way. But boy, the girls did not hold back. Ganging
Well,
up on Susie.
Yeah.
That do take nerve. I was not ready for that many of them to name her as the
Mhm.
person that should leave. I was like, whoa. And while there may be an aspect of she's the biggest threat and we want her gone,
Mhm.
I also felt like, are y'all copping out? Like, is everyone being a little too kumbaya? Like, nobody really wants to say who absolutely should deserve to leave? I'm just saying, like, it seemed obvious to me that a couple of names could have been thrown out there, and it seemed like half of them didn't want to say it.
Right. So, like, I'm looking at the list. So I write things down. Hi, everybody. This is what I do. For the Queen said Susie,
Mm-hmm.
Lana, Sam, Lexi, and Jules. I find it like Lexi. I can understand. That makes sense. We already know
Right.
that shit.
Right.
We've been there, done
established
that.
the antagonist.
We've established that. Sam, maybe I could understand as someone who has the same number of wins as her.
But Sam's a pageant queen. I'm surprised Sam didn't go for the whole, like, who has won the least, not performed. Like, she didn't do the classic, like, you know, pageant approach of being like, statistically, to get to this point, you know, she didn't go that direction.
Yeah. Lana and Jules saying it, that felt like a cop out.
Yeah.
Those felt like cop outs to me. I just honest, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And then what are two others? Hold on, looking down. Okay. Susie said Lana. You know, I guess that would be true because she hasn't won anything.
Right.
That makes sense to me. Lydia said Anya. and Anya said Lydia. And I get why Anya didn't say Lana. Because one, they were literally just scene partners. It
Right.
feels very just like, I'm going to throw you under the bus, even though you made me win.
Right.
Spoiler. But I feel like Lydia said Anya because Anya said Lydia. And that's all it was. I don't care what else she said afterwards. That's why.
No, I agree. But that's where I was feeling like, to me, it was kind of obvious that we have two bottom queens at this point of the competition, and the majority of them wouldn't call it out.
No.
So, yeah, I thought that took nerve that they all ganged up on Susie.
Yeah.
Although Susie has the right attitude and is kind of like, I mean, her first, kind of the way she presents it, her gut reaction is like, "Why me?" And then she's like, "Whatever."
Yeah.
She's not pressed by it. So, I think she portrays that she's always the underdog, or is like, always not taken seriously or whatever. So she's like, whatever. I think she sees herself in the mold of Jinx Monsoon. That will not be taken seriously to the very end.
Excuse me.
So
yeah.
Very much so. All right. So with that being the case, do we want to move on to our next segment?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, kitty girls. This is the segment where we talk about snaps and eye rolls, aka the highs and the lows. So these are like some significant hits and misses that stood out to us that we want to discuss a little bit. David, what do you give us snaps for?
So we were kind of talking about it earlier, but this is sort of what I feel. Susie / Anya got the girls struggling, like point blank period. We talked about Susie just a little bit ago with regards to like all of the girls apparently see her as a threat, yada yada yada, and I'm like, fact. But Anya, I literally went fuck this. 3 wins. She's already won. This is her 3rd win, and like the girls don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to deal with her because unlike other girls, she's very much like, I'm going to point shit out. I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm not going to like sugarcoat anything. I'm literally giving you the full tea. You may not like what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it.
Right.
Like her and Arietti and Lexi's like argument in Untucked in episode 10, chef's kiss. Because that is exactly what I want someone to say when they see someone else being ganged up on. And I love that Lexi sort of backed off a bit. Arietti didn't, and we'll talk about that bitch in a minute. But Lexi understood this is not gonna. I'm not gonna win. Like this argument, I'm not gonna win.
Right.
So I'm just gonna back away.
Right.
And I've been feeling this way for a while about Miss Anya, and these past 2 episodes kind of solidified it for me. Anya's the one to beat, and these girls can't handle it.
Right. I mean, I think they're struggling with the unexpected. I think I said it earlier this season, the dark horse of the season. Like the first few episodes, you just didn't see the potential with Anya. And she's just been getting better and better consistently across it. She has been a bit motherly of late, but kind of like the drag mother.
Yeah.
The house mother, like clocking things, talking about stuff, like you said, calling things out. And so I definitely think I agree that some of them just don't know how to deal with that. And I think Anya's got a lot of emotional intelligence, like um, experience to see what's happening. And so that's where the struggle's coming in, I think, for some of them, because they don't know how to handle that there's someone in the room who's cool, calm, collected, and sees what's happening, and you can't see it because you're in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And similar in a ways to Susie, because I'm kind of loving this, I don't want to say Jinx Monsoon-ish, but this very much like, yeah, whatever. Like you kind of said, like, oh, am I like I kind of hate that you all said my name, but I know why you said my name. And that is also a level of like emotional maturity on her end. And like,
Right.
yeah, it's a competition. You got to ask the question. I understand. I didn't like it because my name got said so many times by y'all. But she knew, and this is the thing, I think, and we all knew, she wasn't going to fuck home. It wasn't going to bother. That wasn't going to knock her in the fight in the littlest bit. And we even got a joke with Rue on the runway on the judges when the judges were talking. Like,
well, it's obvious we have to vote Susie Toot off. Like, we just agreed over it. Like, and I was like, damn. I was like, just calling it out like that. But I loved how like sarcastic, sassy the delivery was, because it was really obvious that there was no reality to that. Rue was just like, well, these bitches are out for her, and that's just all there is to it. Like, no, I agree with you. Like, there is definitely some maturity about that Susie was like, I don't like y'all saying my name, but thank you. Yeah. Because that means I'm the competition. Like, so yeah. No, I agree.
It feels very refreshing in a way. And I hope it doesn't shake any confidence that she already has.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna call it out. I think she's top 4.
That's true.
Don't know if she'll win, but she's top 4.
But yeah. All right, Gary.
So I have 2 different parts I want to give snaps for. The first one is Lana and Lydia's roast surprise. I say surprise because they did way better than I expected.
Yes.
And they deserve the snaps for how they performed in the roast. Lydia, by far, was, I think, the most authentic. And, like, that's the funny thing about a roast is, like, a roast is real, but a roast is love. Like, you say things, you are cutthroat, you are mean, and yet at the same time, like, it is this, like, you know, familial love kind of thing. Like, you know, you are reading, you know, your castmates and the guests of honor and that kind of stuff. And it very much felt like shit you would hear in the bar on the microphone. Like, you know what I mean? And that was the part where it was like she was very comfortable. And I think that was the theme of the roast, was a lot of discomfort. There was a lot of queens who just kind of flubbed and like fucked up and got in their head and got nerved, and you know, and I get it. Like, those 3 queens you're talking about are really like right there in your face. And like, Mistress and Plain Jane have no problem talking back.
No.
Oh, well, Candy too. I mean, technically all
Candy
3 of them.
a little bit, but like,
yeah, Candy was a little reserved. I felt like she wasn't. Yeah. I mean, the edit was that Candy wasn't clapping back, but you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give snaps to them because it was a surprise for the roast. Also, Sam Smith realness. I'm gonna say a couple of things. I have seen this man's journey. And I am loving this era. I am comfortable with myself and my sexuality and my body, and I don't give no fucks what you think. I will be a thicker boy with a coiffed beard and wear a dress and fishnets and heels, and there's nothing you can do about it. And like it's so wild to me because I felt he was very reserved on the judges panel, like especially when the queens were coming out. Like he didn't really get any quips in,
Right.
and I was like, what's going on here? I was
Okay,
like,
good to know.
this is interesting.
Yeah.
And so, and he was okay when he was giving critiques, and then we get to Untucked.
Oh, okay. Just so I know. Just so you know. They're non-binary. And they use they them pronouns.
Okay.
Just so I needed to confirm with myself.
That's fair.
Because I felt like that was something I remember them saying or seeing and being like, let me confirm.
You're not wrong for calling that out. Now,
You
this
got
is the other
feelings.
part. No, because this is the other part I'm going to say. Because that man is sexy. That person is sexy. Like, there's a part of me that I was like, damn.
That was so. Yes, absolutely. They came into Untucked with the bourbon and chicken wings.
All right, girl. Let's talk about this. Sam Smith comes in with a flask of whiskey and like chicken wings from craft services, like in an aluminum pan, and it's just like, hey, like acting like, you know, it's somebody's backyard barbecue, like they just got invited over and was like, I brought the drink, I brought the wings, like let's have some fun. Like I was like, what is going on? Like what is happening at this moment? And it was juxtaposed with this like makeup and the coiffed beard and the outfit. Like it was so like incongruent, like but in a beautiful way. And then Sam goes on to explain that when they do a music video, this is what they do. Like when they get to the end of the project and they celebrate, this is what they do. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I was really taken by that. Like I was so beautifully surprised by the, I guess, authenticity. Like that's why I call it the Sam Smith realness, where they just sat down and they were like, here, let's toast, let's have a drink. Like it made me laugh because you could tell some of these queens don't drink whiskey.
I mean,
the faces they were making, like some of them, you know, have obviously done shots in bars and they, you know, like any shot is a shot. But you can tell some of them are probably more particular about their drink. You know, they're probably, you know, vodka girlies or maybe tequila because a couple of them were not like it was just comical to me. I was like, yeah. You girls aren't necessarily down with the whiskey.
Their look, like Sam's look in Untucked, just very cas and just still like well done. And I'm looking at them and I'm seeing like the curled on their beard, their mustache, and a very, like you said, a very coiffed like beard. And I'm just like, I'm gonna need you to stop.
Well, what I'm gonna need is for you to get out of them clothes, but
or let me help you get out of them clothes.
Actually, that part's tea. Did you see that outfit? I'm pretty sure the only way in and out is with a dresser, like with an assistant to like undo the back. I was like, wow.
Let me help you. But it was just. So we've seen like the guest judge come back and they're very, you know, like, you know, but this felt very. Like I think you hit the nail on the head. This felt very real.
Well, I think Sam felt approachable. This reminds me of when Adam Lambert came back.
Right.
Like there's just a lot of in the moment connection.
Yeah.
And so I felt that this was one of those things that was really surprising to me. And I was super happy that it happened. I mean, it was a little strange to have Sam on out of the blue.
Yeah.
As a guest judge. And I was like, okay, yay. Like, one of us, you know, like, as opposed to some other guest judges. And, you know, I mean, there was something really pleasant about it. And then, of course, the lip sync song made perfect sense. Although I will say I was a little underwhelmed.
So,
by the lip sync performance. But, you know.
Here we go. Where's my fact fan? Or no, this would be a little shady. I'll say it's shady. Um, I thought they were both going to go home.
That part. That part.
And the winner is. We have a tie!
Time? Oh my God. What you mean time?
As in, you both go home.
Yeah. And I was, again, I'm fine with who went home, Lydia. I'm fine with that. But what you had in my mind is you had two queens that had a very similar track record, with one having one win, but having been in the bottom 3 times, and one having been in the bottom 3 times. And if it had been me, and I think you're right, had Lydia not fucked up with those fucking scissors and done what she had done with that, she would have gone. She would have stayed, and Lana would have gone.
Correct.
Because Lydia had the growth and had the change. I feel like Lana, while this challenge was very, it was good to see this like fun, like her actually kind of acting and being a little bit more out there. This has been the little bit that we've seen in weeks of like flat.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, both of them need more cooking.
Yeah. Agreed.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I would have been perfectly content if both of them went home. Because it's obvious to me that Lana's not going to make it to the end. So I feel like she's next. But
no.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's wild because that song is so like sexy and evocative. And a part of me is like, this needs to be an All Stars assassin song. And you've got to bring back somebody who is going to murder to that song. Like that's what I was expecting and wanting out of that, and we didn't get it. So I was disappointed.
And it didn't help that, like, I hate to say it, like outfits did not help in this situation.
Girl,
Neither
okay.
one of them.
So here's the thing that we're spoiled on, because remember what happened in All Stars? They just were like, new outfit. Like anytime they were going to lip sync, they were like, new outfit. Like, and I know they don't allow that or do that really in the regular season, but there's a part of me that's like, well, there's some practicality to that, because yes, Lydia's out there in that tube dress thing and can't really move. And it's like, either you make it work for you or you don't. And in this case, you weirdly went in between, and it wasn't working for you. Like, it was kind of working against you, but you were doing really good with it, so it was working. And then you were like, I'm going to pull a stunt and I'm going to cut it, and then that's when it all went wrong.
God, I rolled so hard there.
I cringed. I literally cringed.
Yeah.
Like the moment it started not cutting, I was like, oh no. And it just got worse. It was a train wreck, and it kept happening. And I was like, this is so disappointing. Because at that moment, I was like, she's going home. She's going home. She's going home. Because Rue will not tolerate that.
Yeah. Especially when you're standing in one spot doing the thing that you need to do. A reveal or something along those lines needs to be like that.
Well,
you can't just like...
I mean, Angie said that, right?
Yeah.
She said that at Pit Stop. She was like, she's surprised that outfit didn't have a reveal. And I'm like, that's the growth. That's the maturity. That's the...
Yeah. Like...
She comes back for All Stars. She will probably... Everything will be pieces. Like, you will figure out, like, I need a way to make things work for an unexpected future.
It's kind of like Corey's and the Dorothy dress where the bottom came off and she had like the little leotard underneath. Like it did save her in that moment. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just putting it out there. Like these are things that she could have slid that, like had that, because there was a middle like fur part. If that dress that had been like a skirt, that could have screwed it up, and she could have scooted it back down. She just had the fur muff at the waist. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm glad I think she took off the sleeves before the lip sync start.
No, she had him at the start. She took him off at some point during. We just didn't see
Okay.
it.
No way. Maybe. Well.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That being said, let's move on to eye rolls.
Hold on.
I mean, I think we feel like this.
Fuck you, and fuck you.
Yeah. In a way, yeah. So I wrote down Arietta's goodbye, and I have in HAB, which is hateful ass bitch, because that's what Anya called her. And I couldn't agree more. Oh, so you did not do. I really hate when a queen makes their goodbye message about another girl. First of all, like just point blank period. Like your goodbye message should be about you. It is your message. You're saying something to the other girls that you want them to maybe remember you by or take a moment and like, oh, we love you kind of thing, but you woo woo cry cry kind of thing. When you make it about somebody else, then it's not about you. So that part first, that part. To then take it to a deep personal level, something that I would assume you know that someone is insecure about. That's cunty. That's not cunty. That is ugly. And to then like let that be the last message that you leave, and you can't let the other person defend themselves. You can't let the other person tell you like be open about it. You say something and you've literally already left the competition, so they can't confront you about it. I mean, maybe we'll see it in reunion. God, I hope so. But they literally can't say anything to you about it. So all we have is the queen's reactions and everything that's going on. And I go give kudos to the queens for showing their support and being understanding and respectful. And I will also give another huge kudos to Anya for, again, keeping it real and saying, I would never say something like that to any of you. And I feel like that is true. Anya can be a little cutthroaty in a way, but she does it out of love in a way and out of respect for the other girls and their ability. This message was just hateful. This message was just cruel.
I mean, it was messy.
And it was messy.
Like that was the shocking part of it. I mean, I was stunned. Like,
yeah.
And I thought, I can't imagine being those queens in the room right now. Because how do you respond to that? If you're not Anya, how do you take that in and then have a response? Like, you kind of have no choice but to say you're sorry to Anya because she's being attacked, and two, like, being like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, why, what is that about? I don't know. It's
like, fuck you, queen. Like, and again, and I think, again, the girls did their best in that moment, and they were allowed to move on past it because Anya was able to, she had her joke and she let it go. Like, she had her, like, anyone got a minute, and I kind of like, and that allowed to cut the tension and let everyone sort of move on in a way, and I do appreciate that. We do know that there has been, and I didn't see Bussy yet. I want to see if there's more on it. But we know Arietti talked about it on Instagram, and I get it. It happened a year ago. We all know it. They've had their like Anya has talked about it and Arietti has mentioned it. They've had their like talk about it and they've had their apology, blah blah blah. Like, you know, off screen, whatever. I think my issue is, and this is the thing that I'm going to say, you cannot put something so public out there on like a show, national television,
Mm-hmm.
and not expect there to be a demand for a public apology.
Right.
And I get it. We're not quote unquote in it, but we all technically are because you literally put it on national TV, international at that.
Right.
So, Ariete, I hope you get the help that you need.
That part.
just saying, just because that is the lowest of low blows, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you knew. That's the part that I especially if you knew that this was something that she was
right
concerned about, has talked about with the other girls in confidence or whatever,
right,
and maybe told you about. Even if you didn't, still a low blow, but it's the lowest of low blows if you did it with knowledge that this was a sensitive subject for her.
Right. I mean, no matter what, there's nothing positive about it.
Right.
There's no way you could spin it and make it funny. There's no way that you can like lessen the damage about whether you knew or whether you didn't know. Because to me, that's equivalent to like, I don't know, coming for Lexi on her transition.
Right.
It's like, really?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? So, yeah. Pretty
anyway. Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Arietti.
So yeah, I'm giving eye rolls for the late season runway from episode 10. Girl.
Oh, the shorts.
What was that? It was so strange. It really felt like scraping the bottom of the barrel. To me, as a theme, I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And the reason why it stands out so badly to me now is because then you go to episode 11 and you get black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really good theme. And I'm like, what happened here? Because I felt like the queens were kind of all over the place with the short shorts. Whatever the prompt was, it wasn't clear. It didn't seem to make sense. So I don't know. That's why I give eye rolls. I was like, I don't know.
I think my issue overall with that theme, like I looked at this. Oops, that's 9. Where's 10? There you are. And I was kind of like normally I will write it. If I like your outfit, I'll write it down and I'll like give you a little check mark. That's what I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down Jules, obviously, because I talked about it. Lexi, and then Anya. And Anya's was, in a way, to me, an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, but I didn't. It wasn't like, whoa, amazing. I felt like it was 2 separate parts because she had this very, like, pageant hair and jewelry on up top, and then she had this very just like whore like look on underneath, and I was just like, this is odd, but whatever,
Right.
And I did write down Sam, but I put a check, but then I put a question mark.
Yeah, because I don't think the football prompt matched the short shorts prompt.
Yeah.
And that's what was a little confusing to me, because I'm like, it's a good look, it's well crafted, well made.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand and accept all of that, but I just don't think it went with the week prompt.
It was the main thing for me is it became harder and harder to see the short because of the tall boots, the very tall, like almost over the knee boot. And you would never wear a short and a tall boot unless you were a superhero. But anyway,
yeah, I don't know.
But the theme overall, I think, I agree. It was a little odd.
Yeah, I mean,
So much
it
done with short.
it felt very much to me like
A dragonfly.
like it was just so random. Just saying.
You just wanted to press that button.
I haven't used it in a long time. It just felt
yeah.
It felt
out
random.
of left field.
Yeah.
Random. Yeah. I agree. I think it was sorry, I'm just jumping backwards. What was 9? Oh, that was they had the Bess Johnson, so they already had the looks. They made those looks.
Right.
What was the next one that had a thing? 8. Parasol, Shady Ladies.
Yeah, see, it's like they had a high, they had a mid, then they had a low, and then they went back up again. So it's like a roller coaster ride. I'm just like, okay.
I went off.
Yeah. Well, speaking of wanting off, if you have thoughts or opinions, you can let us know. You can visit our blog at cubsoutloud.com. Leave us a comment on there. You can also send us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. You can also call us. Leave a voicemail message. We'll play it. Or not if you don't want to, but we'll discuss it. You can call 361-265-8255. That's 361-COL Talk. You can also find us pretty much on social media outlets. Just type in Cubs Out Loud as one word. If you want to join our Cubs Out Loud Drag Race chat, you can go to tinyurl.com/telegram/telegram-COLDR. If you want to know when we're going to be doing our regular live show streams to YouTube for the regular stuff, you can go to tinyurl.com/calendar-COL. There's several ways you can support us. You can get merchandising. You can go to zazzle.com/cubsoutloud and pick up items there. You can get yourself a lovely tea mug with Cubs Out Loud Drag Race logo on it. You can also get various accoutrements, as we say. You can get apparel. So we happen to have this, the Drag Pride themed Consent is My Foreplay t-shirts that Damon and I are twinsies on today. And there are other items on there as well. You can also become a patron. You can go to patreon.com/cubsoutloud for $1 or more a month. And you get the full unedited versions of our podcast. Help keep the lights on, as we like to say. Or if you want, you can leave us a one-time tip. You can go to paypal.me/cubsoutloud. And we will gladly take what you would like to give us. So, if you want to pretty much find Cubs Out Loud Drag Race, we are our own RSS feed for podcasting. You can pretty much use any podcast player you have out there and find us in there. Damon, if people want to get in touch with you online, where would they go?
If you want to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79. That's TheaterCub79 on most bear-related sites or on Facebook. Not on Facebook anymore. Sorry, that's different. Or you can use Pup_Umbra on the one place, or Pup_79 on Blue Sky. Those are not safe for work. For safe for work, you want to go DMAGamer79 on TikTok, Blue Sky, and that other site. For now, I'm thinking about deleting. We'll see.
Gotcha. If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as Gabriel73. I am proud to say that I don't really use that other platform anymore, so I don't use the other profile I created specifically for drag stuff. And so far on Blue Sky, nothing really spoils me, so yay! Don't feel that I have to kind of quarter that stuff off. So, with that, we will be back in a couple of weeks. Presumably, we will have eliminated 2 more queens, and we'll be on the cusp of the reunion and the finale.
Ooh.
So, I'm actually kind of excited and looking forward to that because we're reaching the final laps.
Yay!
So with that, we'll see you later, kittens.
Bye.